But this might not be the truck that you think it is. This is the Ram 1500 Warlock, and it's back with a new engine, some serious off-road hardware, and all of that at an incredible value. Now that we're inside the Warlock, you can tell that this is based on the Ram 1500 Tradesmen. It starts with cloth seats. You've got the dashboard from the old truck. You've got a smaller touchscreen up here. It's not the screen that goes all the way down to the floor. You've got a more basic steering wheel. There aren't as many soft touch surfaces as the other trucks. And I've got to reach all the way down here and actually slide my seat forward and back. And I can only adjust the tilt here. I can't raise the seat up. But those are the things that make the Warlock the Warlock. And it gets better. Truck fans should love this. You can sit 3 people across the front bench. Just fold this up. There's seat belts and everything. It's getting harder and harder to find trucks where you can do this. Well, the biggest news for the Ram 1500 lineup is the powertrain. You used to be able to get this exact truck with a V8. That's not the story anymore. Now we have the 3-liter Hurricane twin turbocharged inline 6. This engine's found in everything from the top of the line down to the Tradesmen. So let's see how this puppy sounds. All right, getting into the throttle. And there's no hiding it. There is no V8 in this truck. You don't get that engine note. You're probably gonna miss that for just a little bit until you look at the numbers. So this inline 6 is putting out 420 horsepower, 469 pound-feet of torque, and those numbers are up from the outgoing V8. We're also looking at better efficiency numbers, and the engine's lighter than the V8. So that translates into pretty darn good performance on the highway, a little bit longer between fuel stops. We're doing about 25 miles an hour down a pretty bumpy road. We're not rock crawling, we're not desert racing. So this truck is right at home. We've got Bilstein shock absorbers at each corner, and they are smoothing out this road pretty well. We're hitting, I wouldn't say potholes, but some pretty good bumps here. Oh, this truck could go all day on this road. It's quiet in the cabin. My head's not getting snapped back and forth. This is comfortable. Like, this is how a truck should ride on a bumpy road. Now let's steer this off into some bigger bumps here. We're turning off the gravel road onto some, whoa man, sorry. Okay, we're in some legitimate desert whoops here. And this is not where the truck is at home. You will very quickly find the limits of the suspension in the whoops. Like, we're going maybe 20, and if I go, oh, there we go. If I go 2 miles an hour faster than that, you will find the bump stops. So just because you can't bomb over the whoops at 50 miles an hour in this truck, it doesn't make it any less capable, because this truck wasn't built to go in the whoops. If that's what you want to do, we have the RHO for that. And the Warlock is not that. This truck is really good at exactly what it's supposed to do, and that's being a truck. Not being a race truck, not being a crazy rock crawler, just being a truck. What are the things that make a truck a truck? That's 4-wheel drive. Warlock has 4 high, 2 high, 4 low, and even has that electronically locking rear differential that you can select with the push of a button. That's huge. On some trucks it does that for you, whether you like it or not. This one, selectable. That's big. What are we missing from the Rebel package? So this doesn't have 4-wheel drive auto. That's totally fine. When's the last time you've used 4-wheel drive auto? You've got 4 high, life is good. It's one of the important things we get from the Rebel package is the tires. The Goodyear tires on the Warlock are really good. So we're out here in the middle of the California desert, and this is a place where people drive to from all corners of the country. They'll load up their pickup trucks and their trailers full of toys and come out here to play in the dirt. So once you're out here, you can be driving on gravel roads, dirt roads, you can be crawling rocks, you can get up in the mountains and play in the snow and the mud, and you can even slay some dunes out here. And that's exactly what we've got right ahead of us. Let's see how the Warlock does in the sand. Okay, so we're cruising through the sand, and Warlock lets you go into ultimate fun mode in the sand, which is two-wheel drive and a locked rear axle. So let's go here, two-wheel, axle locked, and here we go. No problem getting this thing sideways. We were doing this in our tow rig here. Whew. There's our sand donut. Oh, this is a blast. Two-wheel drive. Not even close to getting stuck. This is what I love about the selectable locking differential. This lets you party in the loose stuff, and it also helps you not get stuck when traction is low. You don't always need four-wheel drive to have a blast. Woo! There we go. If you love to get way out in the dirt in your truck or SUV, then you have to pay attention to the all-new Yokohama Geolandar AT4. This is an all-terrain tire, so it's got great tread life and it's super quiet on the highway, and its performance in the dirt is unmistakable. These tires can take the abuse of long gravel roads, and the tread is perfect for biting into the dirt and grabbing onto the slipperiest trails. The sidewalls on the AT4 are beefed up to defend against punctures and give you that extra grip you need when you're aired down off-road. The Geolandar AT4 has a 3-peak mountain snowflake rating, meaning the tread pattern and rubber compound help it perform better than your average all-terrain tire in snowy conditions. Check out the link here or in the description for more. All right, that was fun in the sand. There's still dust back there from the donuts. I think now we've got to slow this down a little bit and see how the Warlock handles crawling through the rocks. I can see the rocky trail right over here, and the Warlock has a lot of carryover features from the Rebel that make it super duper ready to crawl over some pretty gnarly rocks. Starting with the Goodyear tires, like those are the Wrangler Duratrax. That's a really aggressive tread pattern, and that can bite into the rocks and the snow and the dirt and the mud, but they're also really grippy in the rocks. Some of the better tires you can get on a stock truck. We've got 4 high and 4 low, and remember this truck has that selectable locking rear differential, so you can push yourself up the rocky trails with that locked rear axle. And we're not working with the most ground clearance out here. We only have 33-inch tall tires. So this truck is very capable on the trails, but we still have to be careful when we're picking our way through the rocks. Now when we're in the rocks, we've also got skid plates underneath. We've got skids under the engine, transfer case, and a real metal skid underneath the entire fuel tank. Some people put plastic skid plates under there, and they call them skid plates. This is a legitimate steel skid plate. So there aren't many parts of this truck that you can't drag on a rock and not be safe. So we're getting close to the hill here. I'm gonna need 4 low for this one, so I've got to actually stop the truck, shift into neutral. We've got 4 low, it's shifting, and we've locked the rear axle, okay. Back into drive, and we're ready to rock here. So this is one big feature of new trucks that we're missing on the Warlock. I'm not a big fan of lots of technology in trucks, but I've gotten spoiled with forward-facing cameras. That's one thing the Warlock doesn't have. It's got the backup camera, but not a camera that will let you see in front of the truck. So we're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way here and look out the windshield. So we're still 4 low, everything's locked. We're going as slow as the truck will let us go. We're basically idling. And we're just gonna let the Hurricane inline 6 and that locked rear axle push us right up this hill. So we've got a couple ruts here, some basketball-sized rocks. If I stay on my line, oh, there we go, okay. Trying to stay steady on the throttle here and just let the tires dig. Now this is decently steep. All right, and it's doing really good. You can, if you listen close, you can hear the tires just biting into the dirt. You can feel the suspension flexing when a tire gets up on the rock. Coming to the top of the hill here, and that locked rear differential just pushed us up that entire hill. Now cresting the top of the hill, this is where I'd want that forward-facing camera to see what's right over top here, but we're doing fine. Hey, that was a pretty steep one. And we made that without even a struggle. All right, so let's go see if it can do an even harder hill climb here. I've got the window down here for extra spotting capabilities, and let's crawl. We've got to pay close attention to that front bumper. All right. Oh, we are using all 4 tires here. All right, tires are gripping as long as we don't slide and cave in the passenger door. Oh, I think we got it. Now we don't have rock sliders here, so I've got to be extra careful right now. Struggled a little bit. All right, almost up and over, and we got it. The Warlock just continues to impress. That hill was fit for a Jeep, and we did it in the Warlock. Yeah, taking that off-road hardware from the Rebel. At the 33-inch tires, the Bilstein shocks, and all the skid plates if we do absolutely mess up and need to protect something underneath. Yeah, this truck can do an impressive amount of crawling for what is essentially a Tradesman. But we really put the Warlock through its paces out here in the desert. We started out where the Warlock is the happiest, just cruising through the bumpy back roads, and then we turned it up a little bit and really put those Bilstein shocks and the 5-link suspension to work in the whoops. Maybe bumped into the bump stops a few times, nothing too crazy. Then we really let that Hurricane engine sing in the dunes. We shifted into 2-wheel drive, locked that rear axle, where this truck sent sand flying up into space, a lot better than you'd expect for a half-ton truck. After that, we slowed it way down and did a little bit of rock crawling, and we figured out just how far you could go with this truck with the ground clearance and those 33-inch tires. So we barely got into all the power the Warlock has on tap. You can option this truck with up to 1,980 pounds of payload, and it can tow over 11,000 pounds. And that's more than enough to get you and your toys way out there to have fun. So trucks that can do all that, those dedicated off-road trucks, like the Ford F-150 Tremor, the Silverado Trail Boss, those start well into the $60,000 range and only get more expensive when you add options. So the Ram 1500 Rebel is one of those trucks. Now, you don't get Ram boxes, your touchscreen isn't 3 feet tall, and your seats aren't trimmed in crazy Italian leather. Whatever, this is a truck. Does your truck need all that stuff? The Warlock can do just about everything the Rebel and those other trucks can do, and it can do it for less money. The Warlock starts at just over $56,000, and I've been waiting this entire video to say this. That's a ton of truck for your buck.